Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, Capital Markets Analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're looking at the top 10 cannabis stock news stories of the week. With us is Katrina Glogowski, angel investor and attorney. Thanks for being back on the podcast.
Morning, Josh.
All right, starting off number 10, Cannabis Boom 2.0. Some pot stocks are soaring like we've never seen before. So basically, just to recap that, a lot of stocks got hammered, and now that they're penny stocks, literally trading, 80 cents or maybe even a couple of bucks, percentage-wise, yes, that looks good, but dollar-wise, not so much. You still have Aurora writing off billions of dollars, going in and finding, secret investors, a private placement, if you will, not really secret, but not public. So not so sure that it's a great time to invest, but if Vegas is still closed, why not speculate? Go on and get your gamble on.
Why not?
All right, number 9, there's 2 ancillary cannabis stocks that could play an integral role. That's Miracle Grow and GrowGen. But I think we've noted before that there's other opportunities out there, like if you want to bet against commercial real estate with certain REITs, IIPR, for example. There's probably some better plays in there.
Maybe. People tend to like safe.
Yeah. Well, if you want safe, you can join our index. More on that later on today, though. Number 8 on the list, psychedelics versus cannabis in a search for better business plan. So, psychedelics are penny stocks. So obviously they're going to emulate the cannabis wave as they kind of were going up. Yeah. Well, MindMed is going to add MDMA, or ecstasy, I think is what that is, to develop a next generation psychedelic therapies. Could be interesting. Number 6, Hollister launches new Tommy Chong Cannabis 1-to-1 full spectrum elixir. That took a long time.
That did take a long time. I was expecting Tommy Chong to get into CBD a little bit earlier, but here you go.
So Hollister Biosciences, they announced that California is going to launch highly anticipated 1-to-1 full spectrum elixir. All right, number 5, Canopy Growth shares plunge on a massive $1.33 billion fourth quarter loss.
We've talked about Canopy, Aurora, Tilray, all these, the big 5 up in Canada, my favorite country. We've talked about it before due to massive growth, unrestricted growth, and maybe not always making the best bets. And this was expected. And quite frankly, Canopy's not the only one. Aurora's doing it too. So this is just more of a normalization, in my opinion, than a true problem with the stocks. I think they're just consolidating and getting rid of some of their foreign interests, resulting in the write-downs. So I'm not too concerned about this or any of the big 5 normalizing in Canada.
Yeah, it's hard for mom and pops to play when these companies have billions of dollars to lose. But moving on to number 4, Aphria and Aurora among the top performers as Canadian cannabis sales spike. So it looks like during this lockdown, sales grew 19% in March, reaching 181 million ahead of most U.S. states, according to Cantor Fitzgerald.
This is what delivery does. Wake up, the America, come on, especially Washington. When you're in a homebound situation, delivery rules, and Canada is showing it.
All right, number 3, Champion Brands, they announced a voluntary share lockup agreement. So that's one of those psilocybin companies. So it looks like insiders are not able to sell their shares, kind of trying to stoke confidence. So I just kind of laugh and move on. Number 2, Cresco Labs seen a 60% year-over-year spike, expanding in Illinois and Pennsylvania. So yeah, Pennsylvania is interesting. I've been getting hit up a lot for hemp pre-roll machines in weird places. I never thought Pennsylvania would really have a market like that. I don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe they're growing a lot of hemp in Pennsylvania as opposed to the traditional, more southern states like the Carolinas and Tennessee and Oklahoma. But yeah, if they're doing it, good on them.
All right. And then number 1 is that there's some psilocybin stocks that they want to sell you or whatever.
Again, gonna touch the mushroom, do your due diligence.
The number 1 story of the week should have been our AI-based cannabis index getting a 14.2% return last week. We're going to update this later on today. But 129% over PotX, and we're crushing MJ year to date as well. So that should be the story of the week.
I agree with you on that statement, Josh, but maybe you could take a moment and explain to our listeners how you are beating it. Is it that you have your finger on the pulse? Is it some AI algorithm? Or how are you consistently beating these indexes that are supposedly run by professionals?
Well, so Podex beat us by 2% last week. They had a 16% increase. We had only a 14.20% increase. But they're not consistent. And you can see that in their weekly and annual totals. They're incredibly volatile, whereas our trading robot is all automatic. So it's intuitive, it's smart learning, it has a way to look ahead 3 to 4 days in advance for predictive analytics. And we're not as desperate. And so by not having to take too many risks, we're able to consistently make 78% since inception and 47% year to date. Those are just consistent returns instead of the volatility you see with the other competitors.
So does the index invest in lower risk, or does the index invest in whatever the algorithm says to invest in?
The index will invest in whatever equities we choose, and for this we have 19 cannabis stocks that are in there. And so it's a lot of the same options that MJ and Podex have, but their risk is set much higher, and we can see that by these gains that they're making as well as by the losses, and they have a lot of losses. So our timing is just better. I think they have somebody who's behind a screen day trading, and it's not as effective as our algorithm with machine learning. All right, with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.